Hi, Senator. Just a quick question. How would your faith impact your decision-making process as president?
My faith?
Yes, your faith.
Well, my faith impacts my decision-making process in every aspect of my life. I had a gentleman ask me this question earlier in the week, and he identified himself as an atheist. He was very respectful. And I said to him, he certainly has a right not to believe in anything, but I have a right to believe and to be influenced by my faith. And I told him he should hope that my faith influences me. This is one of those things that I think is largely misunderstood in America. People go around saying, oh, you're a Christian and your faith influences you. That means you're going to impose your faith on me. You're going to tell me what I need to do with my life. Absolutely not. In fact, if you say that, you don't understand Christianity. You can't impose Christianity. Christianity is based on the free gift of salvation that you have to willfully accept. You can't force someone to accept that. I can tell you what else Christianity means, though, and it's one of the reasons why this country is so exceptional. And if you don't believe that our Judeo-Christian values influenced America, you don't understand our history. We are the most generous people in the history of the world. We contribute more as individual Americans to charity than any nation on this planet ever has and ever will. And it isn't because you get a 60% write-off in your taxes. Our government is also incredibly generous in the world. We teach every child in America. If you are born with a disability, a learning disability, no matter what you're born with, we teach you. Other societies, they abandon you. They literally walk away from you. Why do we do these things? Because it isn't the law. The law can't make you contribute to charity, and the law can only tell you what's legal and illegal. The law can't tell you what's right or wrong. You know why we do these things in this country? You know why Americans have been willing to go off and die on foreign battlefields for the safety and security and liberties of other people? Because we're formed in this nation by our faith. By a faith that teaches us that every human being is loved by God. By a faith that teaches us that we are called to and obligated to care for the less fortunate among us. That's why we have safety net programs in America. Not as a way of life, but as a way of caring for those who cannot care for themselves. That is why in America, this is a nation that people care for one another. So yeah, I hope that my faith will deeply influence me. My faith will teach me that I need to be an advocate for peace because I am a follower of the Prince of Peace. And that's why we need to destroy ISIS, because ISIS is an enemy of peace. My faith teaches me that we need to care for the less fortunate. That's why I support free enterprise, because it's the only economic model in the history of the world where you can make poor people richer without making rich people poorer. My faith teaches me that we need to care for those who have fallen on hard times. That's why I support the safety net programs, not as a way of life, but as a way to help people stand back up on their feet and try again. My faith teaches me that all human life is worthy of the protection of laws because you were formed by God in the womb. He knew you when he formed you. He knows everything about you. He loves you more than your own parents could possibly love you. And as a result, I believe that our laws should recognize and protect all human life, including people that don't have a birth certificate yet, including children that can't afford to hire a lawyer or don't have a name. Just because you're not born doesn't mean you're not alive. We believe that all human beings need to be protected by our law. At every stage in life, from the time you were formed in the womb until the last breath that you take. People better hope that my faith influences me. People better hope that our faith influences our country. Because if we lose our way in this, who's going to instill values in our children? Where are our values going to come from? Your values can't come from the law. Again, the law can only tell you what's legal and illegal. You cannot be a strong nation without strong people. And you cannot be strong people without strong values. And you cannot have strong values unless those values are taught to you, because no one is born with values. Values have to be taught to you, and not just in word, but in action. Most of the values I learned by watching what my parents did, not just listening to what they said. And where are these values going to come from? And who's going to help the family teach these values? Because I can teach my kids, don't do something because it's bad. And they'll say, of course you say that. Everything is bad. But if I teach my kids, don't do this because your creator says it's bad, that's a lot more powerful. And so that's why our faith is important. Again, we're never going to force our faith on anyone. If people want to worship trees, they can worship a tree. If people want to believe in nothing, they can believe in nothing. But you and I and every single one of us here has a constitutionally protected, God-given right to not just believe what we want to believe, but exercise what we want to believe in our lives and to never be forced by government to violate the teachings of our faith.